Welcome back to the channel, guys. We're going to continue on with our Last Caretaker beginner walkthrough series. We're going to continue on with the second half of the Lazarus Complex episode. And what I wanted to point out with this, the latter half of this episode specifically, is the amount of resources and the rooms that you'll probably want to explore before you proceed to the seed vault. And that's just to make your life easier when you're ready to grow your seed into an actual human. So without further ado, we've already done our disembark checklist, so we're good to go there. We'll just carry on with where we left off. As we continue exploring the Lazarus Complex, we'll move to the western side, and this is where your save station and healing stations are located. You'll also notice a room above the save station. We'll want to go explore that, and you can access that with the stairs on the left side. Be careful because there's usually some little critters that fall out of that duct there, but we've already cleared those. We'll just take a quick glance around, turn some lights on in here and see what we've got to work with. You have a few disabled caretakers, a locked room that we cannot access from this side. You see there's some good victuals out there along with another disabled caretaker. And then out here we have a manually operated door and proceed out to the deck, which this deck is not accessible from the sea, at least not currently. But you'll notice there are some solar panels as well as turbines located out here. So we're going to focus our efforts for the time being in this area, clearing the enemies. That's a broken angel body. The little things that we see floating around the tops of points of interest, we can scrap that down. We got a lot of scrap loot over here that will make useful resources, some human food, and some more junk. We'll start breaking down our scraps. So we need to repair these turbines and these solar panels, but not to use, just so we can get all of the useful parts and materials out of them, which if you try to scrap them down while they're damaged, it only gives you a portion of the materials, so you'll definitely want to make sure it's repaired before you break them down. Believe it or not, the tables are more valuable than components sitting on top of them, as well as these monitors. It's a good start for now. We'll work our way back down the stairs. Now, this is not a high-tech table. It only gives you metal scrap, so we won't fool with that. Continuing on with our tour of the Lazarus Complex, you'll see this is where we came in with our boat that we're calling the south entrance. We've already went to the north side of the complex, which is the elevator and your recycling. To the west, you've got your save stations and your healing station. And to the east, you have this area. So this is an important area. You'll notice, like I said, you'll enter in from the south, and if you come to the east or to the right, you'll notice a set of ladders and some doors. Now, something that's important to note is directly below us is how you access the pump floor. And the pump floor is where the water pumps will be that we'll need to repair to restore water to the Lazarus racks. Before we go down there, we'll visit the balcony area above the east wing. I've already come in here and cleared most of the enemies out. There's quite a bit of coon enemies and the little white crawlers as well as those little green ticks. And they're all in this area, along with a huge assortment of loot. Now, I've already come through and cleared all of this. You definitely want to hit up this room, both areas, in the east or the right wing balcony, because there's tons of food resources that you're going to need for your human. So this is the south wing. The south wing will go up and visit the balcony there. That's where the save station was when we first entered the Lazarus Complex. See, that shield is now green. Lots of good resources in here too. We've got an empty seed container, which we can break down for scraps, human loot, an aged seed container. What we do is we break these down for the ultra high-tech scraps. The ultra high-tech scraps are what start our tier 3 items. So a lot of new players will struggle getting enough power to operate all of the lifts in the Lazarus Complex on their first go around. That's why I went ahead and recommended that you go ahead and repair all of the turbines as well as the solar panels that are on the roof, and create a connection, a closed circuit connection out of that. And that way you've got ample enough power supplying your bottom lifts as well as the upper deck lifts. It will not be enough power, however, to supply your Lazarus rack, so we'll have to establish a permanent means of electricity for that. Okay, first things first. How are we going to get power from the boat to the Lazarus rack? Let's see, I already have an extender here next to this plug, so go ahead and connect those. And you'll want to make a connector here just at the top of the ladder. Just anywhere here will suffice. I like to make my connections clean. So now we have our container built. It'll be for scrap resources that we'll use to repair the Lazarus rack. It's just a lot easier than lugging this material around or dumping bundles out next to it. Here we go. Don't forget, we have a recycler over there that also needs powering. So now we've got power connected to our boat. We're taking it up the ladder. And boom, we have a connection.
A Lazarus rack is ready once more. You've rebuilt more than machinery, Caretaker. You've rekindled humanity's future. Now the seeds of our survival can grow again.
But that's pretty much the only thing of importance on the east wing, at the top at least. We'll go down to the basement level and access the water pumps and get familiar with that. Here, you have your water purifier that needs to be repaired, as well as your water pumps, which look very similar to the ones on the back of our boat. We need to repair at least one so we can feed water upstairs. So we'll pull our repair tool out and see what kind of resources will be needed. Iron, plastic, and rubber. Iron, plastic, and not rubber, but silicone, aluminum, polyurethane, fabric, copper. So pretty much everything except for the rare items. Yeah, that's what it's saying. So we'll head back up the ladder and get the resources we need for that, as well as cables and extenders or connectors. So if you'll recall, we moved the resource canisters up here, our containers that have some resources on hand, so we don't have to run all the way back to our boat. Fantastic. Great. We hit level 11, we'll check that out next. We'll need to build some water connector cables and connectors, extenders, whatever you want to call it. Now you have a seawater input, which is the light bluish green, and then the freshwater output, which is a darker blue, less green. And then you have your electric input, obviously, which will run electricity down here as well. So now we have all of the water cables that we'll need. So now we're all set up for our first human seeds. We've got water, we've got electricity, we are good to go. And finally, the last thing we'll check out before we go pick up some human seeds are the level 11 skill set. Here we've unlocked the bolt rifle and the Hold, which this is the largest storage container. These two are definitely the most important items you'll want to unlock, as well as your water tank. Alright guys, that'll wrap it up for this episode of the beginner walkthrough for the Last Caretaker. Make sure to like, subscribe, and do all of the socials, and check us out on the next one. Until then, be good or be good at it.